Have you ever stopped to actually think about the ultimate gap in our education? I mean, we spend, at least 13 years in school? We're sitting at desks, memorizing random facts, taking endless tests. But in all that time, for the vast majority of us anyway, we get exactly 0 lessons on money. Literally none.
Okay, let's dive into this because, guys, this isn't just some tiny oversight. It's a massive, systemic mystery affecting millions of adults every single day. Like, why are we sent out into the real world without a fundamental understanding of how money actually works?
And the numbers? They really don't lie. According to a massive global survey by Standard & Poor's, only 33% of adults worldwide are actually financially literate. Yeah, 33%. That means 2 out of every 3 people out there are operating completely in the dark when it comes to their own finances.
Just look at the ridiculous contrasts here. School forces us to memorize complex algebra formulas, historical dates, and deep literature analysis. But what does actual adulting require? Well, it requires knowing how credit cards work, figuring out what taxes you owe, how to build savings, and understanding what inflation actually means. Because of this gap, most of us are just left to learn from incredibly costly mistakes, or sadly, we just never learn at all. And when you look at the history, you kind of realize this system is entirely by design. Back in the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution designed schools to build punctual, obedient factory workers, right? Not savvy investors. By the 1900s, John Dewey was already warning us that school trains employees, not critical thinkers. Fast forward to 1997 when Rich Dad Poor Dad really blew the whistle on this whole thing. And yet today, most countries still have absolutely no mandatory financial education. This system is basically frozen in time.
But here's the thing, the silence doesn't just happen in the classroom. It happens right in our living rooms. A staggering 72% of parents find it difficult to talk about money with their own children. I mean, think about that. If you aren't learning it at school and you aren't learning it at home, where on earth are you supposed to learn it?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the profoundly human reason behind all this silence. According to T. Rowe Price, parents stay quiet because they actually feel a lot of shame about their own financial situations. They're afraid of worrying or stressing out their kids, and honestly, many of them simply don't know how to explain it because, well, no one ever taught them either.
Section 1. The real cost. The measurable consequences.
First up, we've got credit card debt. The average U.S. household is carrying over $6,000 in credit card debt right now. And because most people just don't understand how APR works, they're often drowning in interest rates of 20% or even higher. It's brutal.
Then there's the savings crisis. Over 50% of adults in developing countries have absolutely zero savings. Zero. And this isn't just some temporary blip, it's fueling a massive global retirement crisis where millions are hitting old age with no financial safety net whatsoever.
And here is maybe the scariest metric of all. Without a basic financial education, you are 3 times more likely to fall victim to financial fraud and scams. Think about it. When you don't know the rules of the game, it is just incredibly easy for someone else to exploit you.
Part 2. The missing lessons. 6 things adults need.
So concept number 1 is the absolute heavy hitter, compound interest. This is simply your interest earning its own interest. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. Once you really grasp this, you realize that time is your absolute greatest financial ally. The earlier you start, the more your money just naturally works for you.
Concept number 2 is inflation. And this brilliantly illustrates why hoarding your cash under a mattress is so dangerous. Inflation just means prices rise over time. So money sitting still, it's actually quietly losing its value every single day. You're losing purchasing power.
Next up are the daily essentials. First, you need a personal budget to clearly divide your income into expenses, savings, and investments. Second, you've got to know the difference between an asset, which puts money into your pocket, and a liability, which takes it right back out. Third, you absolutely must build an emergency fund. Think 3 to 6 months of living expenses. And finally, diversification. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Always spread your risk.
Now, if we zoom out globally for a second, we can see who's actually fixing this. Places like Australia and the United Kingdom have implemented mandatory financial education right into their national curriculums. Denmark weaves these life skills directly into their everyday schooling. But then, in places like the United States, it remains completely uneven. There's no federal mandate, and the education varies wildly from state to state.
Section 3. Take control today. It is never too late to learn.
So the crucial point is taking action. Here are 5 simple steps you can literally start today. 1. Track every single expense for 30 days so you know exactly where your money goes. 2. Do a deep dive into compound interest. 3. Read or just listen to a summary of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. 4. Truly understand the core differences between spending, saving, and investing. And 5. Break the silence. Talk openly about money with your partner, your friends, or your kids.
I want to leave you with this final thought, okay? The first step isn't having more money. It's understanding how the money you already have actually works. I love that. So take that first step today. And before you go, ask yourself, if you could go back in time to high school, what is the one money secret you wish you'd been taught? If this SimplyMind explainer helped clear things up for you, be sure to subscribe to the channel and drop your answer in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out with us, and as always, stay curious.